Now, Jack Hayward has Jack's Throwback Attack. That's his YouTube channel. He loves having a chat with a few celebrities. The names this guy gets are absolutely amazing. He's here with me now to tell me about him going out and about too. How are you, sir?
Not too bad, thank you. Yourself?
I'm getting by now. God, I've known you for absolute donkey's years, and you've always had an interest in things, particularly kids' TV, but retro.
Yep.
And that bears out with the shows that you do on WCR. But you've treated yourself to something special for your latest special, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I decided to do a video where I visit filming locations for a particular kids' TV show that those of a certain age will remember and love. That show being Rosie and Jim.
Now, obviously, the Midlands featured heavily here. The canal network we have around here, it's alleged there was more canals in Birmingham than Venice. I'm not sure whether that's true or not. But certainly they got much better orange chips in Birmingham and around the Black Country. And you can probably get a fantastic other meal or two out when you're out and about on the canal. So was this part of it? Did you just go out to trawl the food establishments around the Midlands and do a bit of footage at the same time?
I do remember going for chips one of the days, actually.
That had to be chips.
Yeah, when I was down Stourbridge. Yeah, it's very true. We do have a lot of canals and we do have very good chips. That is true.
But fabulous filming locations for Rosie and Jim. And I'm just a little bit older than you, so I saw my sister, who's younger than me, watching Rosie and Jim. For you, were they your heroes as a kid?
Definitely. I loved the show. It was a great show, very iconic. Ran for a very long time, and it was made by a production company called Ragdoll, who were based in the Midlands. And yeah, very Midlands-based show. Featured two puppets, ragdolls, that lived on a canal.
You mean they weren't real?
No.
Okay.
Sorry to say. Two ragdoll puppets, and there's a guy who drives the boat who doesn't know that they can come to life. The boat itself was built in a boatyard near Stourbridge, and yeah, in the early days of the series they did film quite heavily around Birmingham and the Black Country, so I thought, well, why don't I try and find some of these locations and do a video about it?
So there you were, with your copy of Rosie and Jim on DVD, no doubt, taking stills and trying to work out where these little bits of waterway were.
Yep.
And I mean, there's often fan sites dedicated to this sort of stuff. Was there anything to help you already, or were you on your own for this one?
A bit of help. A lot of it was my own knowledge, bit of internet research. So, for instance, there was one that was filmed at the Merry Hill Shopping Centre. Well, I go there quite regularly, so I know that was there. But there were a couple that were tricky. One of them was a hairdresser's, which is long gone in Birmingham. And it was literally me looking at what you could see out of the window. And I could see a car park and partially the logo to Toys R Us, which gave me the idea that it had to be Dale End, and that gave me a clue. And sometimes I'd ask around on Facebook, because some of the locations have changed since then.
Well, yeah, Birmingham's been reformed in some places, particularly around the canal.
It's really difficult with Birmingham. A lot of the locations have changed very heavily since then. The canal's not so much. I mean, the very first episode was filmed at the Delph Locks in Briley Hill, and that looks exactly the same as it did back then, so that was an easy one to do. Some of them were tricky to find.
So when did the show actually run from and to?
So it started in 1990 and the last series was in 2000.
And that in itself is quite a long span for some kids' shows. Some of them come and go quite quickly. I know there's some that hang around for 30 years. You probably love Grange Hill as well, knowing you. But there's some magic to it when it is two puppets coming to life in a magical way, and the stories they got to tell, and the fact that it was linked to the area you lived in. Is that what drew you in even more?
Definitely, yeah, it's definitely got that very heavy local connection. Like I say, a lot of the early shows were filmed very locally to around here. They did branch out later on, but that was definitely the magic for it for me, and recognising some of those locations. Or sometimes I'd be watching it with my mum back when I was a kid and she'd go, oh, I know where that is, and stuff like that, yeah.
Does that mean there are favourite episodes as well?
Favourite episodes, yeah, I mean, in terms of the ones that I cover in the video, I mean, I could probably name several across the 10 years, but in terms of the one featured in the video, it would definitely be the Merry Hill one, because that was filmed at the old Sainsbury's supermarket that used to be there. It's gone now, but I do remember that being there, and every time I'd visit that supermarket, I'd always be thinking, oh, Rosie and Jim were here, and trying to work out where about the shots were when I'd be going round there as a child.
So you wander around with your toy camera taking pictures to see if you could spot where they were?
Not quite.
Come on.
This project kind of come to me about 4 or 5 years ago, so it has taken me a while to actually do it. And it was about a year of actually working on it, but the idea came to me probably about 5 years ago.
And this all ties in with the fantastic stuff that you talk to, the amazing guests you have on there. I mean, there's a fair few episodes up there now. How do people track down the older stuff as well as this latest output?
Yeah, if people want to find what I do online, I do have podcasts where I interview various puppeteers, actors, voiceover artists, and other content. YouTube, Jack's Throwback Attack, also on Instagram, got a Facebook page, and also a blog page as well.
So check out all those details there. But I think important questions are, I mean, when it comes to actually meeting your heroes, I know you had a wonderful chat with Richard Cadell recently, and that features in an hour-long special. You didn't actually get to physically meet him, though it was only online, but did you get to meet Sooty over Zoom? Have you met Sooty in the past?
Yes, actually. Well, I have met Richard Cadell in person. That was at an event in Nottingham earlier this year, and that's how I was able to ask and say, would you be on the podcast? But yeah, so both in person and on Zoom. And
have you met Rosie and Jim?
No, but I am in contact with the two puppeteers that did perform Rosie and Jim. So that would be Rebecca Nagan and Robin Stevens. Robin actually lives in America now, so he's quite out of the way, and I think Rebecca lives somewhere down Dorset. But both lovely people, both have been on my podcast, both have sent messages to say how much they love the video, so that's great.
And it would be nice, actually, if you could ever meet Rosie and Jim. Do we know where the original puppets are? Do they still exist?
Do you know what? I'm not sure at all. I've no idea.
More research follows then.
Quite possibly, yes.
So, I mean, loads of projects you've already done. More in the pipeline, I'm absolutely sure. But it's a case of keep checking back to find out what's coming next.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So your Facebook page is the best place to do that, I'm going to guess, because that's where you'll tease, isn't it?
Yeah, Facebook, definitely. Facebook page, yeah.
And when it comes to merch and stuff, I mean, is that something you collect from these shows as well? I note the Rosie and Jim badge there.
I do have a few bits. I will admit that I try and not have too much clutter, but I do have a few bits that I've saved since I was a child. Don't really buy things these days, though, unless it's something really rare and special. And
then, before you know it, it's part of the collection, framed on the wall.
Yes.
And are there Jack's Throwback Attack T-shirts? Is that are your fans looking for key rings too?
No, I've not done that. No, it's not something I'm looking to do.
Right, get in touch. Tell him he needs to do that. That'd be absolutely fantastic. He'd love to, really. He'll do autographs as well. So Jack's Throwback Attack is what you're looking for, and you can check those details out online. Watch the episodes. But as I say, at the moment, it is that big one, heading around the Midlands and exploring the amazing canal network with the Rosie and Jim in mind.
Yeah,
have a brilliant time with it, mate, and enjoy. And we look forward to your next escapade.
Thank you very much. Thank you.